I welcome you to this e-Samadhan platform. Some of you have joined here on our Zoom platform, and many of you can watch us on the social media platforms of UGC, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. So this program is live streamed on all our social media platforms. Friends, you know that every 2 months or so, roughly, all our top officers in UGC, we all sit with you here together to address some of your questions and also take your feedback. What we normally do is we announce about this program at least a week before, and we invite you to put your questions on our social media platforms. We then collect those questions. And all our officers are here to provide you the answers to the queries that you have raised. And while the program is being live streamed, you can also put your questions in the comments boxes of our social media platforms. Our officer will check and send it to me so that we can try to answer them. Friends, before I take up the questions, I would like to inform you few things. In the last few months, 2 to 3 months, UGC has worked on few important reforms. When I say UGC, there are other organizations also which are involved in our efforts, and a large number of experts are also involved in our efforts when we bring out the regulations and the guidelines as part of the implementation of the NEP 2020. One of the significant reforms that we have brought out recently is the National Credit Framework. Wide range of consultations were conducted to discuss the National Credit Framework. And this credit framework, National Credit Framework, integrates the school education, higher education, and the skill education, so that when the students, after completing their school education, when they want to go for higher education, they can either go to a university and study, or if they want to have skill education, we now have skill universities also, or you can take up skill-based education or even apprenticeship on the credits. And the National Credit Framework will provide you the mobility to move from skill education to general education and general education to skill education. So this National Credit Framework is going to provide a lot of flexibility and freedom to the students to move from one institution to the other institution, from one discipline to the other discipline. The other one that we are working on is the National Digital University. A lot of groundwork is already being done. We have huge digital resources already available in our NPTEL and SWAYAM platforms. Initially, we will be using this digital content in the National Digital University. But however, later when the universities join this National Digital University as its spokes, a lot of new digital content will be collected in this university. There is a process for establishing this National Digital University. It will come through an act of parliament, and the degrees given by the National Digital University will be on par with the degrees that any other university gives. And in addition, in this university, we will be providing courses in emerging areas which are job oriented. And since UGC has already brought out many other reforms which permit you to do up to 40% of the total credits in a program in the online mode, once the digital university comes, you can do up to 40% from the National Digital University while you are physically studying in some other university. Or you can also do 2 degrees simultaneously. You may register for a degree in one university physically, but simultaneously you can do an online degree from the National Digital University so that your skill set will improve and your employability chances will increase. Friends, there are a couple of other things on which we are working. There is a regulation which will permit the Indian universities to set up campuses abroad. UGC is working on it. The regulation is almost in the final stages. And the other regulation on which we are working is the deemed to be university regulation. This is also in final stages. We are going to introduce accountability with flexibility in this new deemed to be university regulations, especially the governance structure in several deemed to be universities are not in tune with the central universities and other universities. So we are bringing some kind of uniformity in the governance structure of all the deemed to be universities through these new regulations. And we're also introducing a new category of institutions in the deemed to be university regulations. It is called distinct institution category. So under this category, institutions which are offering programs, let's say in the area of national security or in the area of languages or some special skills, these universities can be established through these regulations. And the autonomous colleges regulations are also very important. We are going to provide a lot of flexibility to the autonomous colleges to run their own programs, to design their own curriculum, and so on. Friends, a lot of these reforms are primarily aimed at providing more freedom, flexibility, and choices to our students. Our education has to become student-centric. For too long, it has remained teacher-centric. It is high time that it became student-centric, and fortunately, we have the National Education Policy to guide us. So in the coming months, we will be coming up with many more reforms, and we will discuss that in a future meeting. Let me take up some questions that we have received. We would like to answer questions which are general in nature, in the sense that they are applicable to a large cross-section of either teachers or the students. There may be some questions which are very much related to a particular student's case or a teacher's case. If it is relevant to the entire student community or teacher community, we will definitely answer. Otherwise, we will try to help you separately. We will call you and talk to you and get more information, and then talk to the university to resolve the issue and provide a solution to the problem that you are facing. So we have one question here. Dr. Arvind Paul Singh, he says that the private educational institutions are also contributing to our higher education. But however, many of them, they do not get enough funds from organizations such as UGC and other funding agencies. The funds typically go to government funded institutes. Therefore, there is no level playing ground. Here, I would like to inform you that many of the UGC schemes are actually open to all institutions, irrespective of whether you are a government funded or a private institution. There are many schemes under which we do fund the private institutions also. However, to ensure that the institutions which are utilizing the funding provided by UGC, we want to make sure that the quality of research, quality of education in these institutions is of certain standard. And that's the reason why recently we took a decision that only those institutions which have a NAC grading are eligible to apply for 12B. And to be listed under 12B is a precondition if you want to receive funds from UGC or any other central government agencies. So we hope that the private institutions also will strive to improve the infrastructure and other the research ecosystem within their institutions, get accredited through NAC or NBA, and then using that accreditation apply for 12B to UGC, and then you will automatically become eligible for the funding provided by UGC and other government agencies. So there is another question. This question is from Dr. Hari Singh Chauhan. He says that surprise visits may be conducted so that if any irregularities are there in any institution, they can be stopped. We need to ensure that all the rules and regulations of UGC are strictly adhered to in the institutions. Definitely, we are looking into it. UGC will make surprise visits or will ask the institutions to send the data related to the academic programs or related to the PhD awards that are being given in the institutions, closely examine all the data and make sure that they follow the UGC guidelines in letter and spirit. And if any institution is floating, is not following the UGC regulations and rules, you're most welcome to inform us. In addition to our own surprise checks, we will take your feedback very seriously and look into any such violations and take appropriate action. Teachers and students and other stakeholders play an important role in informing UGC if there is any such violation. There is another question from Sanyam Saini. Sanyam Saini says that there is a clash between UGC NET and another exam conducted, and that is on 3rd March. Of course, now we are on 15th March and this question came early. But Sanyam Saini, let me tell you that when we conduct these important tests, we look at the dates announced by several other examination bodies in the country, and we try to avoid any such clashes. But because there are large number of examinations, tests that are taking place across the country, there is a finite possibility that there could be a clash between two examinations. And this primarily happens because there are multiple tests that are taking place in the country. And national education policy also says that we should minimize this number of tests and have as few tests as possible. Especially in the case of admissions, it is better that we have one single national test, and then admissions are based on this one single national test. And keeping that in mind, we have introduced the CUET. Already nearly 200 universities have joined CUET as we are speaking. And we hope that many more universities will join instead of conducting their own entrance tests. This will avoid any such possible clashes between tests, and also it will reduce the stress that the students have to undergo because of these multiple tests. Sanyam Saini, let me tell you that we will continue to strive and make sure that we will minimize any such clashes, and we will also talk to NTA and keep in touch with them to avoid any such clashes. There is another question, Wahini Singh Rajavat. She says that private institutes offering higher education, PhDs part-time and full-time, should be scrutinized closely and make sure that they are following the UGC regulations. We will definitely do that. And whenever we get complaints also, we take such complaints very seriously. We have Dr. Shakil Ahmad with me, who is the Joint Secretary in UGC. May I request Dr. Shakil Ahmad to please provide your response to this?
Yes, as you rightly said, sir, कि अगर हम पूरी कोशिश करते हैं कि हमारे जो रेगुलेशन है अवार्ड करने के लिए पीएचडी के पूरी तरीके से इम्प्लीमेंट हो, अगर कोई कंप्लेंट आती है तो हम कंसर्न यूनिवर्सिटी से उसका जवाब भी मांगते हैं, और आपसे भी अगर हम रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे कि अगर आपको ऐसा कुछ पता लगे कि किसी यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर पीएचडी जो अवार्ड कर रहे हैं रेगुलेशन का वायलेशन हो रहा है, तो हमारे सेक्रेटरी यूजीसी को लिख दीजिए, एक मेल ड्रॉप कर दीजिए. डेफिनेटली हम उसके लिए जो भी कदम उठाने होंगे, डेफिनेटली वी विल डू.
Right. Maintaining quality in the PhD programs is extremely important. The PhD regulations are very clear on that. It is mandatory for all the universities to follow the PhD regulation. We will also be making a surprise checking of the PhD theses that are being submitted in various institutions. We will randomly select educational institutions across the country and ask the universities to provide the data and other information related to the awarding of PhD, closely scrutinize those documents and make sure that the UGC regulations are followed. If there are any deviations, UGC will surely take appropriate action against those universities. There is one question here. Perhaps this is a pseudo name, Cybersoft. So when are you planning to start the digital university? And please do start it as soon as possible. I have just now given you a brief answer on this National Digital University. As I said, the work on digital university is going on at a rapid rate. Very soon, we will make the announcement. When the National Digital University is started, either in July this year or January next year, we will first start with the certificate programs and diploma programs. And in the subsequent year, we'll start with the full-fledged degree programs, 3-year, 4-year undergraduate programs, and the master's programs. So let me now go to Nirupam. Nirupam says that he is appealing for setting up School of Medical Sciences for MBBS courses in Assam University, Silchar, the Barak Valley, and in many places. There is absolutely no doubt that we need more medical universities. And recently, I read in the newspapers that the Minister for Health is in discussions with many hospitals, private hospitals, to encourage them to establish medical universities. Setting up a medical university is a very capital intensive activity as compared to a general university, because medical universities also should have an attached hospital, and establishing one bed in a hospital costs close to about 1 crore. So a 300-bed hospital may cost anywhere close to 400 crores or so, just the hospital part, and the university will require another 300, 400 crores. So it's a capital intensive activity. But however, efforts are being made to open new medical universities and colleges in our country. And we hope that in the coming years, we will see many such universities. There is one question here. Purushottam N. So he is asking, what is the action taken towards settling technical course students' issue of recognition of course offered by KSOU for the period 2012 to 2016? This is a question often students raise. We have our Joint Secretary, Dr. Sunita Sivach, who looks after the Distance Education Board. So I request her to please provide her response to this.
Sir, Sunita madam is not here. She is, I think she had to attend a court hearing or something.
Dr. Ravichal can take up.
Dr. Ravichal can take up that.
Sir, Karnataka State Open University, these are the years जब यूनिवर्सिटी को डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन काउंसिल से एस्टवाइल डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन काउंसिल से रिकॉग्निशन नहीं था, और उस पीरियड में यूनिवर्सिटी ने कुछ डिग्रीज टेरिटोरियल जुरिडिक्शन के बाहर भी ऑफर की सर। और उसके बाद सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जजमेंट है कि अंडर नो सर्कमस्टांसेस रेगुलेटर कैन अकॉर्ड रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव रिकॉग्निशन। अकॉर्डिंगली यूनिवर्सिटी को भी इन्फॉर्म किया गया है, और ये करंट पोजीशन है कि रिकॉग्निशन भी वैलिड फ्रॉम पर्सपेक्टिव इफेक्ट सर।
Right. So retrospective recognition will not be given. So that's the clarification coming from UGC. So there is another question. This is by Bhavana. I request to bring our current syllabus in various areas on par with the industry requirements. You're absolutely right. We need to provide to our students education which is experiential. By doing with hands, you need to learn. And that's the reason why in the national education policy, a lot of emphasis is given for internships, skill-based education, and apprenticeship. And towards this end, we are making a lot of efforts. And I request Dr. Shakil Ahmed to mention a few of these efforts that we are making. Dr. Shakil Ahmed.
Hello.
Go ahead. Yeah. So we are actually working with the Ministry of Skill Education to work on skill-based courses for our students.
Yes, sir. UGC is taking a lot of initiatives. अभी recently चेयरमैन साहब ने अभी एक कमेटी बनाई है जिसकी अभी एक मीटिंग 2 बजे खत्म हुई है। स्किल शॉर्ट टर्म स्किल डेवलपमेंट कोर्सेज के ऊपर गाइडलाइंस प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं। शॉर्टली गाइडलाइंस विल कम आउट एंड गाइडलाइंस विल बी सेंड टू द यूनिवर्सिटीज फॉर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन। ये शॉर्ट टर्म स्किल डेवलपमेंट के कोर्सेज होंगे। पूरा रोड मैप उसके अंदर बनाया जाएगा ताकि यूनिवर्सिटीज को कोई प्रॉब्लम ना हो इंट्रोड्यूस करने के लिए। इसके अलावा हम लोग मिलके मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ स्किल डेवलपमेंट के साथ बहुत काम कर रहे हैं। अभी रिसेंटली वी हैव इशूड एक सर्कुलर टू ऑल द आइडेंटिफाइड कॉलेजेस एंड यूनिवर्सिटी जिनको कहा गया है कि स्किल हब एक अभी PMK 4.0 इंट्रोड्यूस करा है मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ स्किल डेवलपमेंट ने। तो उसके ऊपर रजिस्ट्रेशन करने के लिए कहा अपनी विलिंगनेस, ताकि मोमेंटम बने स्किल डेवलपमेंट के लिए और ज़्यादा। तो लॉट ऑफ इनिशिएटिव्स वी आर टेकिंग एंड इसके अलावा स्किल डेवलपमेंट का जो हमारी गाइडलाइंस हैं अभी उसको हम रिवाइज भी कर रहे हैं। उसके अलावा हमारी UGC हैज ऑलरेडी ब्रॉट आउट स्किल डेवलपमेंट के ऊपर अप्रेंटिसशिप एम्बेडेड डिग्री प्रोग्राम गाइडलाइंस हैं, और हम टाइम टू टाइम सारे इंस्टीट्यूशन को बताते रहते हैं कि भाई ज्यादा से ज्यादा अप्रेंटिसशिप और इंटर्नशिप। इसके अलावा जो एक नया इनिशिएटिव यूजीसी का है बहुत अच्छा है कि शॉर्टली वी आर गोइंग टू ब्रिंग आउट द गाइडलाइंस ऑफ इंटर्नशिप फॉर अंडर ग्रेजुएट स्टूडेंट्स, एंड इट विल बी ए वेरी वेरी बिग इनिशिएटिव फॉर द स्टूडेंट्स। और ये गाइडलाइंस जिसके अंदर ये इंटर्नशिप जो है नॉट ओनली टेक्निकल कोर्सेज जो बीए बीएससी बीकॉम कोर्सेज हैं उनके बच्चों के लिए भी ये इंटर्नशिप का अरेंजमेंट होगा। और इस पे हम बहुत फाइनल स्टेज पे चल रहे हैं और ये गाइडलाइंस आते ही वी विल प्रिपेयर ए पोर्टल आल्सो, एक सेंटर पोर्टल होगा जिसके हम ऑलरेडी उसका एक रोड मैप बना चुके हैं जिसपे सारे जितने इंटर्नशिप प्रोवाइडर होंगे उनका रजिस्ट्रेशन कराएंगे ताकि बच्चों को ये मौका मिल सके कि वो अपने हिसाब से अपनी इंटर्नशिप को चुन सकें। और एक मैकेनिज्म एट द इंस्टीट्यूशन लेवल पे भी डेवलप करेंगे हम, जिसके जो बच्चों को कोई प्रॉब्लम ना हो, ताकि वहां पे नोडल ऑफिसर होगा इंस्टीट्यूशन लेवल पे, वो कोऑर्डिनेट करेगा प्रॉपर्ली स्टूडेंट के साथ और सबको इंटर्नशिप प्रोवाइड की जाएगी। ए लॉट ऑफ इनिशिएटिव्स आर बीइंग टेकन बाय द यूजीसी इन रिस्पेक्ट ऑफ द प्रमोशन ऑफ स्किल डेवलपमेंट इन द कंट्री।
Right. So internship also is now given a lot of importance in our curriculum. Dr. Gopakumar may briefly explain how this internship has now become part of our 4-year undergraduate programs also, and how the definition of internship is now widened. Dr. Gopakumar?
Ji, sir. UGC recently published the curriculum and credit framework for undergraduate programs, and it gives details about the various curricular components in the 4-year UG program. And in the curricular components, one of the components is internship, and 2 to 4 credits, minimum credits is assigned for internship. And in the what are the things which can be part of internship, like working in industries, craftsperson, in government offices like corporation, and working with elected representatives. Like this, there are many ways of achieving these credits under internship are given in the framework, UG framework. So this is mandatory for all UG students.
Right, right. So it will continue to have a lot of focus. Our focus will be there on the skill education, and we will try to bring in as much as possible in our curriculum. There is a question from Nagarik. He says, if CUET can give options for 100% weightage, why not JEE Main and NEET do the same? Why options are given only in section B having 20% weightage, but not for section A having 80% weightage? You know that in CUET, we give 50 questions and the students can answer 40 questions. So you have a choice there. So he's asking, why not the same thing in JEE Main and NEET? You know, for too long, we have introduced CUET only last year. Therefore, we brought in this flexibility. And the JEE and NEET have been conducted for too long, and they have set the question papers in a particular way for several years. And usually, how much weightage should be given and so on, this is decided by a team of experts, subject experts who are involved in conducting these examinations. So in the case of JEE and NEET, the subject experts might have decided to give options only in section B, but not in section A. But in any case, we will pass on this feedback to NTA so that this feedback will reach out to the experts and they may consider your request in future. But in any case, CUET, which is becoming one of the largest and most popular entrance tests in the country, it does have a lot of options for the students. You need to answer only 40 out of the 50 questions. Right. So let's look at another question. This is Rohit Sethi. Rohit Sethi, he is asking about a complaint he has filed against a university. And the university reply is not satisfactory. I am a faculty, not a student. Therefore, I am not able to get my problem resolved. Rohit Sethi, you know that we have in UGC a grievance redressal portal, online portal. And you please provide all the details on our portal, and we will definitely get in touch with the university and look into your problem, the problem that you are facing. I will request the concerned bureau to look into your problem, and we will try to solve it. Right. So now let's go to Avinash Soni. Here he says that my center was too far away from my residence. Why are you giving a center too far away? Whether it is UGC NET or CUET, we work with the NTA and make sure that majority of the students get their first choice city. But in few cases, while 97 to 98% of the students will get their first choice city, 2 to 3% of the students may get a third choice city or a second choice city. And when we do that, we also try to ensure that you get the closest city. But in some cases, it might have happened that your city is far away from your hometown. And that's the reason why we inform you about the city first, at least 10 days before, so that you can plan your journey to go to that city. You can book your train tickets or make travel arrangements. But this time in CUET, we are trying to make sure that even if it is your second choice or third choice, we will try to give within 100 kilometers from your place of residence. And we will strive to give the first choice to at least 98% of the students, so that you don't have to travel long distances. And there is another question. This is again related to a center which is far away, but we are trying our best to minimize the distance between your center and your place of residence. There is a question from Vasundhara, Anarasi Vasundhara. She says, I got admission in an institution of management, but however, in MBA, but however, I am not interested to do MBA now because of some issues. So therefore, I want to take 1 year gap for MBA, and then I want to come back and continue. But however, my original documents are not returned. So they are still with the college. So this issue, your complaint has been noted. And Dr. Tejas Joshi, would you like to answer on this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So her complaint has been noted, and we just request him to send us a few details related to MBA courses, and we also supplied my personal email ID, so she can write me. We take immediately action, sir.
Right, right. So Vasundhara, please send the details on our portal, and email ID also is available where you have to send the documents and other details. And once we receive those details, we will definitely talk to the institution and make sure that your problem is solved. We have here Nayak, A. Nayak. Is PhD not mandatory for assistant professor job in university? Any notification on this? UGC NET is mandatory for assistant professor position. But if you have a PhD, then you don't have to take the UGC NET. There was a circular from UGC saying that from 2021 onwards, PhD will become mandatory, but in between the corona pandemic came. So that date got extended to 2022. And now that extension has gone up to 1st July 2023. UGC said that PhD is not mandatory for the post of assistant professor. But however, we are re-looking into this, because in many disciplines, it may be difficult to get a PhD. So as long as a candidate has UGC NET, they should be eligible for the assistant professor position. Dr. Gopakumar, would you like to add anything on this? Dr. Gopakumar?
Yes, sir. A committee has been constituted, sir, and this committee is working on this particular issue, whether to retain the PhD as a mandatory condition for the appointment of assistant professors or not. Soon it will be, they will be completing the task, sir. It is under consideration.
The existing regulations, 2018 regulations, do they say that PhD is mandatory for assistant professor?
No, sir. As of now, it is not mandatory, sir, for assistant professor's post.
Correct. So that's the point.
Yeah.
As of now, it is not mandatory. But in between, UGC came up with some circular that it will be made mandatory. So the idea is to maintain status quo. Whatever is mentioned in 2018, that PhD is not mandatory for assistant professor position, that status will be continued. And to look into that, a committee has been formed, and we will soon announce about this. So let's now go to another question. This is a question about a university which is not announcing the results on time and not conducting the examinations on time. So therefore, the students are facing problems. So you please do send this as a complaint on our portal with the details, how long the examinations are postponed and how much delay was there in announcing the results. So if you could please send it on our portal, we will talk to the university and find out and see how we can provide a solution to this. You know, often in our Twitter handle, in our social media, students keep writing to us that I wanted a city change, or I wanted a center change for my CUET exam or UGC NET exam. But if you write in social media, it will become difficult for us to monitor all the social media platforms. And that's the reason why we have given the contact details of NTA, where you have to send all your requests. They also have the helpline and also an email contact where you can send your request for all such center change or the city's change issues. And NTA will definitely look into your requests and change them. We have another question. This is from Shahid Jamal. Could you please tell me when will be the JRF amount be increased? Last increment took place in 2018. Until now, no information on this. Deepakji, would you like to say anything on this?
Yes, sir. Sir, this revision of JRF fellowship and SRF fellowship is not only relating to the UGC. Such schemes are across the ministries, and this is being spearheaded by the Ministry of Science and Technology, and they had a meeting with all the ministries, concerned ministries. So matter is under consideration. So it would be decision would be taken at the Government of India level that would be applicable to all the ministries, sir, including UGC. So CSIR, Ministry of Space, DRDO. There are many ministries are, at least, sir, 15-20 ministries are involved in this, sir.
Correct. But the good news is that these ministries are looking into this issue.
Ministry of Science and Technology is coordinating this aspect, sir.
Correct, correct. Okay, so let's hope that your scholarships will be increased sometime in future, in near future. So now let me look at Alvi Arman. He says that there was a wrong city given to him. There was a big technical glitch. A city was allotted randomly. He has written many mails, but nobody has taken care. Kindly send your request again to us on UGC portal, and we will get in touch with NTA and we will try to help you. We have Subhash K. He is asking that he didn't receive the degree certificate and the mark sheets from the university. And whenever he tried to ask for it, they are not giving the certificates. They are not really helping the student. So how do we solve this issue? Dr. Sunita Sivach, is she here?
She is not here, sir.
Not yeah. But in this case also, let us see. I'm just looking at some of the details the student has given here. We will take up this issue. We will take up this issue and talk to the university and try to provide a solution to you. Okay. Right. Avichalji can ask, can answer this. This is Shashank Shivaraj. He says, hi team UGC, what is the difference between online and distance education and online learning? I am looking for taking admission in MBA in online mode. Kindly reply, because it is confusing to me to know the difference between ODL and OL. I think Avichalji can answer this.
Sir, online education means that a program will be offered in 100% online mode. It is directly from the university headquarters, and the content will be delivered to the destination or the prospective student. And the examinations will be conducted in a fully proctored mode, which can be technology proctored or the manual proctoring mode, sir. And the content delivery mode will change. There will be no concept of territorial jurisdiction. And there will also be no concept of, in terms of an international learner can also enroll in such programs. However, distance education program will have a concept of learning centers, where the student will be required to go and attend those learning center classes and lab-based programs, where a teacher will be there like a tutorial, and they will be able to clear their doubts. However, in the distance education program, the condition of territorial jurisdiction, that means a student can register in any university, recognized university in the country. However, to complete the academics, including examination, it has to travel to the boundary permissible for that particular university or the state center. And 40% online component is permitted in the distance education, in the online education modes and distance education program. However, regulation clearly specifies that degree which is recognized is equivalent for all purposes, acquired either through ODL mode or online modes.
Right, right. There is another question, related one. Tejas is asking, is MCA course eligible for distance learning?
Sir, MCA course is permitted in both in ODL and online mode, sir. And because it is a computer application course and can be done using computer application and computer algorithm on the PC. So it is permitted in both in ODL and online mode, sir.
Right, right. Okay. So there is another question. This is about a university refusing to refund the admission fee that the student has paid. Let us see. Dr. Tejas Joshi says that the complaint has been noted, and our bureau will get in touch with your university and try to resolve the issue. Hirendra, have you filed a complaint on our portal on eSamadhan? If you have not yet filed your complaint on eSamadhan, please do so, giving all the details, your contact details, and the problem that you are facing. Our bureau will get in touch with the university and help you. So now, again, there is one, Yash Sharma also has problems with the fees not being refunded. Yash, please do register your complaint on our eSamadhan. We will get in touch with your university and do the needful. There are few other such issues also, which are related to the fee refund. And please do visit our eSamadhan portal and register your complaint there. And in many cases, the universities are refunding the fees after we contacted them. Let me look at another question. I'm trying to look for general questions so that many of you will be benefited from the answer. Okay. I've been selected in the SJSGC fellowship for the year 2022-23. This question is to Deepak Vatsji. We will be starting the further processing. However, the scholarship portal of Canara Bank is not yet updated, as the SJSGC scheme is not yet displayed. The previous single girl fellowship for social sciences is still being displayed on their portal. Kindly look into it. Dr. Deepak Vats.
Yes, sir. We are working with the bank, sir. And soon it would be this uplinking of students would be there, sir.
Okay. Okay. So within what time window it will happen?
Yes, sir. Within 10 days time, it would be up, sir.
Within 10 days time. Okay.
Yes,
Just looking for another question, which is general in nature. Okay. So this is a question to Dr. Deepak Vats. Please let me know the status of Dr. Radhakrishnan postdoctoral fellowship.
Sir, these applications of fellowships are under review, and we are taking the steps to early declaration of results. So 5 schemes we have announced, sir. Only 1 scheme till now we have declared the results. So Radhakrishnan scheme also, we had planned, sir, to declare the result in this month only. But by this month, I think it would not be possible. So in the starting of the next month, we are planning to declare the results of these schemes also, sir. 4 schemes are there for which results are to be declared, sir.
Okay. So there is one more question to you, Deepak ji. This is about NET JRF scholarship is not coming. His name is Anmol Tiwari from Banaras Hindu University. In all such cases, where do they file the complaint?
Sir, in such cases, there are some glitches are due to that if students are not claiming these scholarships in time, then they have to fill up an exception form. And sometimes there are incorrect details in these exception forms filed by the institution concerned. And those exception forms are rejected by the system because details are not matching with the payment already made and payment is being now claimed. So in such cases, students should contact their nodal officers of the universities or colleges where they are enrolled in PhD, and they should fill up the correct details from where they have not claimed the fellowship and from which date now they are claiming. And if still they are having any problem, their contact details on the portal itself, they can raise their concern on the portal. So we would attend this, sir.
Right, right. So there is another similar question about this exception certificate. So you have already answered that. In fact, our JRF scholarship portal is working very well. We rarely hear any complaints from the students, but in exceptional cases when we have problems like this because of the data mismatch, at your end, please talk to your nodal officer and give the correct data so that the system processes your application for the fellowship. So I think we are coming to the end of our program. We have already spent nearly 50 minutes. And there are some colleagues on the platform here. If any one of you would like to ask any question, you can briefly raise your hand. So we have here Lieutenant General Dr. Rajan. Could you please unmute yourself?
Sir, firstly, please accept our compliments and appreciation on an excellent conduct of the SAMVAD session and the praiseworthy initiatives under your inspirational leadership. My request and concern, if I could put it that way, sir, is that the UGC regulations of 2018 on online and ODL programs do not envisage leveraging any avenue or aspect of the NEP 2020. Now, may we request you to kindly consider that we go about this exercise so that the vision of the NEP 2020 as envisaged by our visionary Honorable Prime Minister can be fulfilled to its fullest extent, sir. Because we could, if you consider either a core study group which could look at this, because right now it is straitjacketed, a little inflexible. If permit me to take the liberty of expressing myself, I'll request you to kindly consider this.
Right, right. Absolutely, absolutely. And if you have any specific suggestions, please do write to us.
Surely, sir. So I would send across a mail to you, sir, for consideration.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So now we have another hand raised. The name is DAP JNTU. So could you please unmute yourself?
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, very nice interactive session with you, sir. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. Sir, I'm Director Academic Planning of JNTU Gurujada Vizianagaram, sir, recently established in Andhra Pradesh. Sir, just my concern is simple thing, sir. The NAC grading system, the recent news article I have gone through, sir. The grading system has to be changed. Is it correct, sir? Shall we expect within a short time?
You see, our national education policy also recommends binary grading, not on a scale of 0 to 4. And we have also made a global survey, and almost more than 80% of the countries, they use a binary accreditation process. So, and soon the Higher Education Commission of India will be coming, and NAC will be integrated into that. So a lot of changes are going to come. And this is one of the changes that is being planned to bring binary accreditation rather than giving on a scale of 0 to 4. So it will happen sometime or later in future.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your nice answer, sir. Thank you.
Right. I think there are no other questions, I suppose. In the chat box, I see one question. Is it necessary to change curriculum of PG program of 1 year where the program is regulated by apex bodies like AACTE, MCA in particular? AACTE also is looking into various kinds of regulations that it has brought out earlier and trying to fine-tune it to be in line with NEP 2020. And UGC and AACTE are also working together so that a lot of work which is duplicate work can be avoided and focus only on areas which are distinctly within the purview of AACTE and UGC. So many changes will come. once the Higher Education Commission of India is established, which will act as an integrated single window regulator so that the stakeholders do not have to run from one regulator to the other regulator. So there is a question on the simultaneous existence of 2 degrees in UG program. Sir, I want to say that I have completed my graduation from Open University, but I have taken admission from regular university in 2022 session. So can we take 2 degrees together? I am very upset. Help me in this regard. Well, if you have registered in a regular university, our current rules say that you can simultaneously register for a parallel degree program, but doing 2 degree programs in a physical mode may become difficult for you because of the travel times, clash in lecture timings, and so on. But what would be easier for you is to look for an online degree program. Already, I think more than 80 institutions in our country are offering several online degrees, and you can simultaneously register for that degree. There is absolutely no problem. Sir, when will a minimum common syllabus for UG programs will come into existence? For all the undergraduate programs, whether it is 3-year or 4-year undergraduate programs in areas in such as BA, BSc, BCom, UGC has already come up with the 4-year undergraduate program curriculum design, curriculum and credit design. All the universities can adopt this, but UGC will not be telling you what courses to take. That freedom should be left to the universities. How many core courses you want to have, how many electives you want to have. That structure is defined in our 4-year undergraduate program. And within that structure, you can design your own courses and offer to your students. So we will not have any common syllabus. Syllabus can be different depending on the subjects that you are studying. And what are the guidelines for SAMVAD for medical college level? The question is not clear to me. Right. So there is a question on CUET. The application process is still going on. 30th March is the last date for CUET. And however, we must stem the coaching center mania for cleaning CUET. Fortunately, in CUET, we use only the 12th standard syllabus. Students are anyway focusing on the board examinations, and what they have learned for the board examinations is still fresh in their mind. And within few days, within few weeks, CUET happens, so they can revise what they studied for board exams and go and attempt CUET. There is absolutely no need for you to go for teaching, for coaching. Focus on your board syllabus, and the preparation for the boards will help you in CUET also. Well, right, friends, I think we need to close it now. There is one last question. Wanted to know that skill-based programs require practicals and hand-on practice. So how would these be taught in National Digital University? This question is asked by Dr. Aradhana Khare from Atlas Skill Technical University. You're absolutely right. Wherever there are programs where hands-on experience is required, you have to work with equipment. Such kind of courses cannot be offered in National Digital University. But in many emerging areas, such as business analytics, data science, artificial intelligence, we can definitely run such programs in online mode. IIT Madras is already offering, which has become very popular now. But the practical part also, in future, we will be taking care of that, because the virtual lab development effort is going on parallelly. In the National Digital University also, we may provide opportunities for the students to go for hands-on practical experience in local industries. So we are working on several such programs, and let's see how things will evolve once the National Digital University is established. So friends, with those comments, I think we would like to stop here. Thank you very much for being with us during last 1 hour and for raising so many questions. And let me assure you, on behalf of all my officers who are sitting here on this live platform, they're all committed to solve your problems. Feel free to send your complaints and suggestions on our e-Samadhan portal, and we will try our best to resolve your issues. So with those comments, with thanks to my